Live Copter 3 giving us an exclusive view over the state capitol tonight, where California lawmakers and the governor will now need to figure out how to close a $12 billion budget shortfall. Thanks for being with us for our News at 6. I'm Dalston Dark.
And I'm Edie Lambert. The governor presented his proposed updated state spending plan, and KCRA3's Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala explains who the governor blames for this new budget problem and which major state programs are at risk.
Well, the governor in his presentation put a lot of the blame on the state's budget woes on President Donald Trump and the federal government. But the governor did acknowledge the state has been spending a lot more since he first took office.
Best to describe this as a Trump slump.
That's how Governor Gavin Newsom painted the state's financial picture as he pitched his proposed spending plan for the upcoming year. The governor warning California is expected to lose out on billions because of the president's constantly evolving tariffs.
We are projecting impacts because of the uncertainty.
But the governor's $322 billion spending plan this year represents one of his most expensive since he took office. The state's budget is now more than $100 billion bigger than it was 6 years ago.
Budget watchers, including the Legislative Analyst's Office.
I asked about this and the warnings he's gotten over the years about the spending.
Is any of this self-inflicted, or is the uncertainty entirely about President Donald Trump?
This nation state has grown.
In his lengthy response, the governor did not directly answer the question, but defended his spending on education, mental health, public safety, and social safety nets.
Proud of the economic growth, proud of the economic output in the state, and proud that we continue to balance our budgets.
To balance this year's budget, the governor is pushing to set new limits on the state's expensive program that provides health insurance to undocumented people known as Medi-Cal. Starting in 2026, new undocumented adults could no longer sign up, and those who already have it would have to pay a $100 monthly premium under the governor's plan.
We just simply can't afford it. And he's acknowledging that.
Republican State Senator Roger Niello expects the state's money problems to persist in the years to come.
We're staring at $20 to $30 billion deficits.
The governor is not proposing any new money for cities and counties to address homelessness. He also won't earmark extra money for the measure voters approved in November to crack down on repeat drug dealers and thieves, known as Prop 36.
Counties have to do their job, and there are a lot of supervisors in the counties that promoted it, so this is their opportunity to step up, fund it. There are city mayors that supported it. It's their opportunity to step up, fund it.
This frustrating the California State Association of Counties.
Voters were very clear. 70% of California's voters have declared Proposition 36 a priority. And as a result, the state should do the same.
So this presentation kicks off about a months-long negotiation between the governor and state lawmakers over how exactly taxpayer dollars should be used in the upcoming year. They typically nail down the state spending plan by the end of June. Reporting at the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, KCRA3 News.
And in addition to President Trump's tariffs, the governor said cuts by the federal government could also further complicate the way taxpayer dollars are used. So it is possible that lawmakers may have to come back to Sacramento later in the fall to make some changes.